A black man in a sharp suit was slammed to the ground outside a courthouse, treated like a criminal before he could say a word. The officer never asked his name, never saw the truth, only the story he had been taught to fear. What followed would shake a city, expose a system, and force a reckoning neither man was ready for. What happened next would shock even those who've seen it all, but let's start from the beginning. Sir! Stop right there! Marcus Ellison barely turned before the impact hit him. A body slammed into his back, driving him face-first into the pavement. His briefcase flew open, papers scattering across the courthouse steps. Hands behind your back, the officer shouted, pressing a knee into Marcus's spine. What did I do? Marcus groaned. Suspicious behavior. You matched the description. Marcus let out a sharp breath. Black man in a suit? A few bystanders stopped. Phones came up. Man, that's messed up, someone whispered. I didn't resist, Marcus said calmly, even as cuffs tightened around his wrists. You didn't even ask my name. The officer, Daniels, kept his grip firm. You can explain downtown. Marcus turned his head slightly, voice low but steady. You sure you want to do it this way? Daniels frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Marcus didn't answer. He just looked at the courthouse doors, then back at the officer. All right, he said quietly. Let's go. As they lifted him up, someone in the crowd said, Yo, he ain't even fight back. Another voice, this gonna blow up online, watch. And they were right. Because one woman had already hit record. The holding room was quiet except for the scratch of a pen. Name? Daniels asked. Marcus sat straight, cuffs still on. Check my ID. Daniels opened the wallet. Then everything stopped. Judge, he muttered. Marcus met his eyes. Federal Judge Marcus Ellison. The room went cold. Daniels blinked. You serious? Marcus leaned back slightly. And if I am? Daniels stepped back, running a hand over his head. This is bad. No, Marcus corrected. This is normal. That's the problem. A TV in the corner suddenly lit up. Breaking news. Footage played, Marcus being tackled, face down, surrounded by officers. Video of an apparent wrongful detention is spreading rapidly. Daniels stared at the screen. Oh no. Hashtags flashed. Hashtag walking while black. Hashtag judge or not. Marcus didn't even look. You didn't see a judge, he said quietly. You saw a threat. Daniels swallowed. I didn't know who you were. Marcus nodded once. You didn't need to. Outside, reporters were already gathering. Inside, Daniels realized something worse than a mistake had just happened. He'd just become the story. The courthouse buzzed like a storm. Marcus stood in his chamber, adjusting his cufflinks. His hands were steady, but his thoughts weren't. For a second, he saw his younger self. Pressed against a police car. Wrong place. Wrong face. A knock. Judge. Officer Daniels is here. Send him in. Daniels walked in, slower this time. I'm here to apologize, he said. Not because of the cameras. Because. I get it now. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You get it? Daniels nodded. I saw what I was trained to see. And what's that? A threat. Marcus stepped closer. No, he said quietly. You saw a story. One you never questioned. Daniels didn't argue. Outside, chants echoed faintly, no justice, no peace. Marcus glanced toward the window. That video, he said, it's not about me. It's about every person who didn't have a title to protect them. Daniels looked down. I messed up. Marcus paused. Yeah, he said. You did. But his voice wasn't angry. It was heavier than that. The courtroom was packed. Cameras. Community members. Silence. Marcus took the bench. Daniel stood below, not as an officer, but as a man being judged. Marcus spoke clearly. This case is not about one moment. It's about a pattern. He looked directly at Daniels. You acted on assumption, not evidence. Daniels didn't look up. But you're not alone, Marcus continued. That assumption is taught. Reinforced. A pause. That doesn't excuse it. The room held its breath. Marcus delivered the ruling. Disciplinary action. Mandatory retraining. Civil penalties. And more, department-wide reform under federal oversight. A ripple moved through the courtroom. This wasn't just punishment. It was change. Outside, cameras flashed as Marcus stepped forward. Judge Ellison, someone called. Was this justice? Marcus stopped. Justice isn't a single decision, he said. It's what we do after we see the truth. Behind him, Daniel stood still, watching, thinking. For the first time, not reacting. Learning. And maybe, finally, seeing.